Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a mat workout. We won't need any equipment for today's workout. We're just going to use our mat. So when you're ready, you can come down to your mat. We're going to have a seat with our legs nice and long. And we're just going to start off with a little bit of stretching to warm up the body. So we'll take a breath in, reaching up overhead, and we're just going to exhale to fold down to your toes. When you reach your toes, you can hang here for just a second. Take a breath in as you restack your spine through the center. Take another breath in at the top. Exhale, you're going to reach up overhead and fold all the way down to your toes. Restack the spine, come up through the center. We're going to do that one more time. Take a breath in, reach up overhead. Exhale, you're going to fold down to your toes. Nice long stretch. Restack your spine, come up through center. We're going to take that right knee, bend it in. You can even cross it over the left thigh. And we're just going to reach up and over, take a twist, rotation to your right, breathing in and out. And then we'll come back to the center. We're going to switch. We'll draw that left leg in. You can cross it over and twist. Breathing in and out here into your rotation. We're going to come right back to the center. And then from here, we're going to sit back on our knees. And we're going to go into some side bends. We're going to exhale, draw the right elbow down towards your right hip. Back up to the center. We'll take it over to the left side. And with a lateral bend, your flexion comes from that middle spine, so your thoracic spine. So your hips aren't really doing much. Your low spine aren't really doing much. You're just bending through that middle spine. So you're not rotating or folding forward or back. It's just a bend left and right. And then we're going to come back to the center. I'm going to turn to you so you guys can see. I'm going to take both legs over to the right side. And we're going to do a little variation of that mermaid. We're going to take it to each side, left and right. Over to this right side. And over to the left. We'll do one more on each side. You can go as quick or as slow as you'd like, and then you'll come back to the center. We're going to take the legs over to the other side. Same thing, switch it up, reach it up and over, and then over to the left. You can go as quick or as slow as you want. Just warming up the spine and the obliques. We're going to do a little bit of oblique work today. Last one over to the right. And then we'll come back to the center. We're just going to stretch the legs out long, press the thighs down into the floor. You can flex your feet a little bit, and we're going to reach the arms forward, down and back from the ears. Press your thighs down into the mat as we round back one vertebrae at a time. Let your head be the last thing to reach the mat. And then I'm going to bend my knees. And from here, I'm going to take the arms, just reach them up to the ceiling. Really reach and protract the shoulder blades, and we're just going to go into a couple chest lifts. So take a breath in, keep your feet down on the floor. We're going to curl the head and chest up, and then lower the head and chest down. Perfect. Exhale, curl up. Inhale down. You can see each curl up, I'm drawing the belly in. As I curl up, the ribs are staying glued together. And my chin rounds to my chest as I look towards my thighs to use the upper abs to lift rather than lifting through the neck and over engaging the neck. One more. And we're going to come down, relax here. I'm going to lighten up my heels on the floor, and we're going to add in some marching. So now when we curl up, we're going to be also marching, lifting one's toes off of the floor. So let's curl up. We're going to lift the right toes, lower them down. Now the left. We've got the right and the left. Perfect. Let's do 2 more to each side, right and left. Last one here to the right. And we've got 1 more on the left. And then we're going to relax it all down. You can stretch the legs here. Give yourself a nice long stretch. Legs are long, arms are long, reaching behind you. And then from here, I want you to curl the head, neck, and chest up. We're going to lift the legs up to that 45, and we're going to start our pumps of the arms. Breathing in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you can bring your legs into a tabletop if you need a little bit of a modification. You can also lower the head and chest down. You can also lower the feet down on the floor. Those are some options here for you. You can also take your legs up to that 90 rather than that 45, or just lower them down a couple inches. Breathing in. So these are some options you have for variations of your hundreds. You can also do single leg. But remembering to breathe in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the abs drawn in. You can hold the head and chest up if you need to. We're here for our last 10. And last 5. And then we'll relax it all down. Take a breath here. You can do some quick rotations of the knees left and right. Taking a breath, slowing the heart rate down just a little bit before we move on. And then let's come back to center here. Now, options here, if you want, you can add your chest lift, or you can keep the head and chest down. We're going to float the legs up into our tabletop. And then from here, reaching the arms up to the ceiling, we're going to go into our single leg stretch. Right, left, right, left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, last 3, 2, and last 1. And then you can relax the head and chest down. A couple more exercises here in our sequence. We're going to go into our double leg stretch. So we'll take the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to keep those arms reaching up to the ceiling. Legs will come into tabletop. Curl your head and chest up. We're going to stretch both legs and draw them back in. Exhale, stretch and pull. 6 more. Last 5. And 4. 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Relax the head and chest down. Take a breath there. You can give yourself that knee twist for those obliques. And then we'll come back to center. Let's take the legs up to the ceiling. Toes are pointed. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. You can lift the head and chest, or you can keep it down. We're going to go into our scissor. Make sure you're not holding your breath. We're pointing through the toes, keeping the legs nice and long. Last 4. 1 more to each side. And then we'll come back into center, relax it all down. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little stretch. From here, we're going to keep the legs in tabletop. Curl the head, neck, and chest up. This time, we're going to rest the head heavy into the palms and curl the head and chest up. Elbows are going to come out wide. We're going to go into our crisscross. Stretch the left leg. Draw your right knee in and switch. Taking that elbow across the body as you rotate. Not holding your breath. Pelvis is stable. It's staying right in the center. The only thing rotating is my obliques. Taking my elbow to each side. Let's do 1 more to each side. Last one. And then we'll relax all the way down. We got one last exercise here. We're going to press those palms a little bit wide into the floor. take both legs up to the ceiling, and we're just going to take them over to the right and then back to the center. Now both legs over to the left. So I'm squeezing the thighs together. Option to engage the thighs a little bit more in a Pilates V, so heels together, toes apart, but we have nice long legs. Inhaling to drop to one direction, exhaling to pull it back to the center. Let's take it one more to each side. So I'm using those side abs to pull those legs back to the center. We'll bring it back in the middle, give ourselves a little stretch. And then I'm going to have the feet resting on the mat. We're going to go into some bridging here since we're already down on the floor. Let's just start it off with that articulating bridge. So you can have the arms resting down on the mat, or you can take the arms up to the ceiling. Your choice here. We're going to go into that articulating bridge. So you're going to start with that imprint of the spine. You can see when I tilt that pelvis, my low back presses right into the mat. Keep that there as you lift up one vertebrae at a time up into your high bridge, and we're going to melt the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Take it back to a neutral spine. Imprint the spine, scoop yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Melt it down. Perfect. Two more. Imprint the spine, scoop yourself up, and melt it down. Last one. Imprinting the spine, scooping ourselves up one vertebrae at a time, and melting all the way down. Perfect. Go ahead and relax the arms, relax the hips. We're going to pause here and we're going to go into some single leg bridging. So we're going to take that right knee into a tabletop. Option to stretch that leg up to the ceiling with that long leg pointed, toes pointed. Exhale, we're going to lift the hips evenly. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 4 more. Last 3. You can even take the arms up. A little bit of a core stability challenge for those last 2. Last one. Go ahead and relax the hips down, relax that leg down. Let's take it over to the other side. Same thing we did over there on that right side. We're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Perfect. 5 more. Last 4. 3 more. Last 2. And last one. Lift it all the way up. Take the hips down. Relax the feet on the floor. Or we're going to take it up a notch by lifting up on our heels, and we're going to do some bridging on our toes. So let's just start off with our hinge bridge. Lifting the hips up, lowering the hips down. So now you might feel it a little more in the calves. Really lifting those hips like you have on, or those heels like you have on some high-heeled shoes. Keeping them lifted up. 2 more. Last one. We're going to lower the hips down, and then we're going to add on to that bridge with a little step out. So we're going to lift the hips. You're going to take your right toes, stretch them out, draw them back in. Left toe, stretch out, draw it back in. Now you can bring the heel all the way down to the floor for a tap, or you can just reach and bring it back. Still using the hamstrings, keeping the hips active and lifted. 1 more to each side. Last one. And we're going to take the hips all the way down. Once the hips are down, you can cross over for your figure 4 stretch right through the center. We're going to switch, take that left ankle over, pull in for that stretch on this side. You can take both legs up to the ceiling, point and flex your toes, rotate your ankles outward, and then we'll rotate the ankles inward, giving ourselves a little stretch. And then from here, I want you to roll over onto your right side, and we're just going to lift up, and we're going to do some leg work here. But we're going to do something we haven't done in our 21-day challenge. If you're participating in that, we are going to do some kneeling here in this leg work. So we're going to have our right knee down and your left leg is going to be extended. So we've done that, but we're going to bring the right hand down onto the mat, and it's going to be right underneath our shoulder, pressing down into the mat. I'm lifted in my ribs, and I'm just going to place my hand either on my hip or behind my head. And we're going to start off here with some lower and lift. So we're going to lift this leg and lower. And I have my toe pointed so I can be really long all the way from my hip down to my ankle. And I'm pulling my tailbone forward so I can keep my hips lined up one over the other, keep my shoulders open. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. Relax it here. We're going to bring that knee in and send it out. In and out. See if you can do that without taking the foot down to the floor. So each time we pull it in, we keep it lifted. 3 more. Last 2. Last one. Perfect. Stretch it out. We're going to do one more exercise here, and then we'll go into some oblique work. We're going to lift it up. Keep the toe pointed to draw that foot forward. Flex the heel to take it back. Point the toe forward. Flex it back. So I'm inhaling forward, exhaling back. Last 2. Inhale it forward, exhale it back. Last 1. Inhale it forward, exhale it back. Take that foot down. We're just going to reach that arm up to the ceiling, thread it through to the opposite side. Here you have the option of coming up to a high plank, high side plank. In this thread, the needle movement. So you can take it in and out, and then we're going to take it up and over. You can lift the leg when you take it up if you'd like. Last one. And then let's come down into our swan position. So you're going to lie all the way on your belly before we take it over to the other side. And from here, we're just going to start off with some lifts. So you're going to stack your palms one on top of the other. Your elbows are going to be wide. You can rest your forehead on the tops of your hands, and your legs are going to be active. Glutes will be active. So point your toes and really activate the glutes by lifting the legs off the floor. We're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lift. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. And my glutes stay active the whole time, so they're not really resting. Elbows are going to stay out wide. Last 2. Last 1. Perfect. Relax it all down. I'm going to separate the hands and just bring them to shoulder height. Now we're going to add a little combination movement here. So we're going to lift, stretch, pull it back in, lower down. Lift, stretch, pull it back in, lower down. Good. Lift, stretch, draw in, and down. 3 more. Lift, stretch, in, and down. Last 2. Inhale as you pull in and down. Last 1. And relax it down. We got one more thing here before we go into a nice swan stretch. We're going to lift the head and chest, lift the legs, stretch the arms, and we're just going to start our swimming here. And same as you do for your 100, you're going to breathe in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. We're going to be here for 10. One more deep breath. And then we'll relax it all the way down. Place your palms. You can relax the glutes a little bit. Take an inhale and you can lift up into your swan with your shoulders down and back. Remember, we don't pull the head all the way up. We want to keep that head on the spine. Inhale, lower down. Let's do 2 more. Last one, press it up. And then we'll just go ahead and tuck our toes under, press ourselves back into a child's pose. And then we're going to come back up to center in our quadruped. So palms right beneath the shoulders, knees right under the hips. We're going to tuck our toes underneath, and we're just going to lift the knees to hover. Pull the abs in, hold it here for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you can relax the knees down. We're going to take a breath here, and then we're going to add on to it. So we're going to lift, hold it here, stretch the right leg back, draw it in, lower the knees. Lift, stretch the left leg back, draw it in, lower the knees. Lift, stretch, in, down. Lift, stretch, in, down. 2 more to each side. Lift, stretch, in, down. Lift, stretch, in, down. 1 more each side. Last one. And then send the hips back. We have 1 more exercise here, and then we'll go into our side kneeling on the other side. So here you have an option. You can keep the knees down, or you can bring them up into a hover for our challenge, but we're going to add extension of the arm. So we did the extension of the legs. You're going to be lifting the right arm and then lifting the left arm. So if you come up into your kneeling, you'll lift and lift. Lift and lift. 4 more. Last one to each side. And then send the knees down, tuck the toes or extend the toes, and we're going to just stretch to the center of our mat. I'm going to just take both hands over to the left corner of the mat, and then both over to the right. Perfect. And then let's come up to center. We're going to switch sides for our side kneeling. So go ahead and take your left knee down. Your right leg is going to be stretched. And then from here, we're going to place our left hand down. So you want to have the hips stacked, right leg long, chest is lifted. You can place the hand behind the head or bring it to the hip, but we want to have a nice long line. Let's start with our lower and lift. Point the toe. We're going to exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Perfect. We got 4 more. You can see I'm pressing out of this left shoulder, so I'm not resting in the left shoulder. I'm lifted. Last 2. Last one. Relax it here. We're going to do that in and out, so that bend and stretch. So you're going to draw the right knee in and stretch. Draw the right knee in and stretch. And you can see I'm not placing that foot down on the floor. I'm keeping it lifted. Nice. 3 more. Last 2. And last one. We're going to stretch the leg here, and then we're going to go into that kick. So you're going to take the foot, lift it up, point the toe, and then flex the heel back. Point the toe forward, flex the heel back. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Perfect. Take that foot down. Now you have options. You can either come up into your side plank, or you can stay here, and we're going to thread the needle. We're going to reach it up to the ceiling, thread it through to the opposite side. Reach it up, thread it through. Reach it up, Thread it through. 2 more. Last one. And then let's take it up and over. Reaching over and center. Last one here. And then we can send the hips back. We're going to go into a little stretch here in the center. We can just sit the heels back, reaching forward. Give yourself a nice child's pose. And I'm going to come up to seated, and we're going to do those side bends like we did earlier to start our class. So we'll have our hands interlaced behind the head. We're just resting behind the head, elbows out nice and wide. Exhale, we're going to drop that right elbow down to that right hip, and then come back to the center. Left elbow to left hip. So slowing down the heart rate a little bit. We're going to do one more to each direction. Last one. And then let's come back to the center. We're just going to give ourselves a little twist over to the left. And then we'll take it over to the right. And we'll come back to the center. We're just going to round and flex the spine a couple times. Rounding it forward. Flexing it back. Then we'll take another inhale. Reach up overhead. Give yourself a nice stretch. You can interlace the fingers. Turn the palms up to the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, close the arms out to the hips, and we have completed this full body exercise class, mat Pilates, using no equipment, just our mat today. Thank you for showing up for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you are part of our 21-day challenge, we are almost to the finish line. So I want to thank you for continuing to participate and showing up for yourselves and being accountable. I can't wait to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.